Did you hear that? That sounded weak. It's a AAA game. Shoutouts to the PUBG team. I love the game and the sound, but this specific metal impacts, they sound a bit weak. In this video, we're gonna fix that. My name is Bastian Gerner. I'm a senior Foley artist working on games and movies for the last 15 years. And I will show you in this video not only my exact approach how I tackle game Foley, I will cover the difference between Foley for movies and linear media versus Foley for video games. And at the end of the video, you will also get a look into an asset list that a game company actually sent me in order to make sounds for them, so you can understand how the business looks like. Let's dive into it. The art of Foley is performing sounds in sync to the moving image. That has been done now for almost a century. Shoutouts to Jack Foley, who started the whole thing as a profession. And for movies, the speciality is that we have to match the sounds into the scenery. That means if something happens more in the distance in the back, we try to record it as if it was already in that distance. And we need a lot of special techniques and a specific room and microphones to do that. Far mic and a close mic. And we use stuff like filters and tricks like off-axis miking so that we can actually really perform the perspective into the recording. However, in video games, as the player defines how the scene evolves, we cannot really do that. And therefore we record more full frequency, higher sample rate, even high frequency mics, and don't use filters and off-axis techniques as much, and let the middleware, something like Wwise or FMOD, handle all these parameters and then communicate with the game engine so that the actual perspective, things like obstruction and occlusion and attenuation, like how far is something away, all gets handled by the middleware communicating with the game, so the player gets the right feedback at the right time. Listen closely to the footsteps now and try to recognize a pattern. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means we have 4 variations, and those variations are important so that it doesn't feel repetitive. Every Foley artist has maybe a different rhythm, or the game wants a specific amount of asset variations. Maybe they went for 4 variations for each footstep type. We can now record something that has maybe 7 or 8 variations, and I'm gonna show you how to do this now. How many variations did I catch? 6, maybe 8? Let's move on. That was fun. You get all the sounds we record. Link in the description if you want. Now let's listen again very closely. What did we hear? Impacts on different surfaces and shells that drop on the floor with different variations. The game is very complex and there are so many systems interacting with each other. You have the animation system, you have VFX playing, you have gameplay mechanics and tons of things that are interacting with each other to make this thing lively and immersive. And the audio has to understand all those systems so that we can build our audio system in order to cater for the specific game. And that makes every game project unique, and also the way how we record sounds unique, because we always have to cater for that specific system. Having said that, the sounds here are pristine and I love every detail that they put into the debris of different surfaces like the wood and the concrete, the ricochet sounds for the metal impacts on the lamp. And we're gonna do our own versions now. Let's record some shells and some sweeteners for the wood impacts and the concrete. Let's go! I almost forgot, we wanted to fix the audio for the impacts of the car, right? So I don't know why this is weak here. Again, shoutouts to PUBG, amazing sounding game. However, there are oftentimes dynamic ranges for those types of impacts. And that goes for all the physics objects in a game. For example, those impacts on metal. And maybe they have just a generic metal impact and that's why it sounds a bit weak on the car, but it works better on other materials. Let's assume they have a dedicated scenario for impacts on cars and they even have a dynamic range of soft impact, medium impact and hard impact. And I will show you now how I approach those three different intensity layers with a special microphone technique. Let's go! Medium. And now hard with the accelerometer. That was fun. So let's wrap this up. We're done with the recording. Make sure to download all the sounds and do whatever you want with them. Link is in the description. You'll also get the Excel sheet. Before I explain a little bit about that, let me tell you, if you want to work in professional game audio, Foley or sound design, you have to play games in order to understand what's going on and to be up to date. You should also follow Game Awards and you should understand game systems so that you know actually what happens behind the curtain and you can cater your sounds into the specific systems, not only audio systems, but all the systems in the game. And therefore, every game is different and learning never ends. Let's go to the document quickly. This is what the game company sent me. It's of course altered so I don't breach any NDA, but it's a PUBG kind of game and they wanted some footsteps, of course. We can also call that locomotion, and we have sliding and jumping and upright walking, running and sprinting on different surfaces. Of course, there was way more than those surfaces asked for. Then we have cloth movement, assets, generic, also for kind of a generic rattle, specific cloth movements for animations like aiming or repositioning the weapon or reloading. And then we have certain impact sounds, bullet impact sweeteners and whatnot. And then also physics objects like a grenade or a canister or some other stuff that you can throw and it bounces off the ground, different surfaces again. So this is a lot of stuff. And if you get such a list, then make sure to understand what they ask from you and then make an assumption of how long you're gonna need for this, and always calculate time in that you need in order to come up with the right sound, you know? And then once you have the sound, it's kind of easy to then go on and record all the variations. Also think about iteration cycles and calculate that time as well. And then I argue that it is the best approach to then come up with a bundle price for the whole thing and not talk about an asset price or an hourly rate. Shoutouts to everyone who helps me on this journey, quoting properly. We do this together in the Foley Guild and share things like that, and also work on projects together in there. I explain my workflow and help people elevate as Foley artists and also as sound designers that want to do Foley in their daily work in order to come up with better source material. If that's for you, then consider joining the Foley Guild. And other than that, enjoy one of the next videos. Make sure to download the free sounds and the list. And I will also share a little extra tutorial video when you download those sounds to get a bit more deeply into this asset list. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Peace, the Foley teacher.